Good morning, Bonny Eagle. I'm Christopher Hascall.
I'm Brian Wakeham, and this is Katie Murphy. We will be interviewing Mr.
This man.
Hello.
No.
So, you're a senior. That's pretty cool.
Topher, I have a real question.
That wasn't even a question. What? Okay, what's your question?
What got you into doing like the clubs and certain things that you do, and how the heck did you become the president of them?
Well, I've been into theater since 6th grade, so I just stuck with that, except for my freshman year when I did track. So yeah, theater's always been in my life. So that just kind of snowballed into getting elected president in junior year. Robotics was different. I got into that the summer after my 8th grade year because my sister was on the team. She was the website maker, the website captain. So I sold some meat raffle tickets for robotics one summer.
Meat raffle? Oh, I was thinking like the actual food of meat.
No,
not like
raffle tickets for meat.
Ah, got it.
Yeah,
like sausage and ham.
Yeah, actually, it was like I think it was beef. It was like you win a cow or something.
Beef.
So yeah, and then John said that we needed someone that could sell stuff, needed someone who could like talk and like so I joined the team that day. Yeah, and
specifically that day.
That day specifically.
Can you remember that?
Yes. It was sunny. There was a car wash. There was a bottle drop across the street. We were doing both at the same time. It was at Napa. Anyway, freshman year I was the spirit captain. I still get members of other teams that come up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're the Eagle guy," and I'm like, "Yes, that was me."
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, I was a very excited freshman. I was running around a lot. I went to like other teams and like tried to get their spirit up. I was doing like the chants and everything.
Yeah, it's been shown throughout your 4 years, especially this year. You're very hype.
I haven't lost that energy, I don't think, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, I found out about the Chairman's Award, which we have never submitted for. And we decided to start working on it, and we submitted for the first time. And you've probably heard we won this year for the first time.
2018.
At the Pine Tree District event. It was... What weekend was it? I've already forgotten.
I'm not even a part of robotics.
March 11th, I think. No, March 17th.
Yeah.
Yeah, March 17th we won the Chairman's Award for the first time in our 22-year history, which is great. Junior year, I was elected team captain, and then again for the senior year. So this is my last year. Robotics gave me the opportunity to be a finalist for the Dean's List Award, which has helped bolster my college applications a little bit. Other than that, student council I was just a part of because no one else wanted to be. And I ended up being president because no one else wanted to be. I ran unopposed for both the representative position and the presidency this year. So that was more of a thing that I just fell into. But it's fine because most of the work that I do for student council is during school, so it doesn't overlap with robotics or drama.
What actually is the Chairman's Award? Like, just explain it.
Well, the Chairman's Award is for the first robotics competition, which is one of the 4 programs of FIRST. The others are the First Tech Challenge, First Lego League, and Junior First Lego League. So the Chairman's Award goes to an FRC team that best represents FIRST ideals and spreads STEM education and FIRST as much as they can. And we do that in our community through events like our Red Cross Blood Drive, volunteering at the Ronald McDonald House, meeting with Senator Susan Collins and Representative Pingree. We go to as many outreach events as we can. We get as many sponsors and people to talk about us. We knock on doors during our bottle drive, we try to get as much outreach and fundraising out as possible so people know our names and people know that we're successful and we're trying to be as successful as we possibly can.
Have you ever had any weird encounters, like knocking on people's doors?
Mostly with dogs.
Yeah.
It's mostly you open the door and a dog jumps out at you, and like 9 out of 10 times they just want to love you, but the other one they like stay back and they're barking, and if you take a step closer they're gonna bite your leg off. But
that happened to me.
There was this one time that this wasn't me, but this was on a bottle drive that I was knocking on doors for. Someone else knocked on someone's door and got no answer. Someone yelled from inside, and they left. And then when they came back down the street, there were police cars in the driveway.
What?
So it was like, oh, that's what they were doing. So something illegal was going on. So that was probably the weirdest one.
So, I know that you mentioned, like, the Dean's List Award is going to be, like, a great thing for your college applications. What are you going to do after high school?
I'm going to be going to the University of the District of Columbia, which was the cheapest college I could find in D.C. It was, financially, it was either that or Orono. And I decided I wanted to be close to D.C. for the internships, and I really just love the city. I got a falafel there for $4 once, which is a major selling point. So yeah, I'll be going there, and after a couple trimesters or a year or 2 years, if it takes that long, I'm going to transfer to Georgetown, which is one of the colleges that I know Bill Clinton at least went to, but also some other people. It's a very great college. I stayed there for a week when I was with the ACLU in D.C. It's a nice college, and from there I'd want to go probably just to Georgetown Law, and I'm going to go through the ROTC program to help pay for college, and join one of the branches of the armed forces after, and then once I get out, I'm going to run for public office and science.
But if you feel like midway through you don't want to do it anymore.
Do you ever see me not wanting to run for public office?
No, I see you running for public office. But like during the road to become one of the public officers, do you think that somewhere in between is going to be like, maybe I don't want this dream?
To be in public office?
Mm-hmm.
No. And all of the things that I listed need to happen in order for me to win public office. I need a bachelor's degree. I need to go to law school, which I'll do during the armed forces, and I need to have a military background in order to really be able to run for public office.
How many years is it supposed to take after high school?
Since I'm taking a gap year, I'll graduate college 5 years from now, and after that it's 8 years active duty. So that's around when I'm 31, and which is convenient because you have to be 30 to run for Senate. So I'll get out when I'm about 31.
That's a long time being schooled and being told and being taught new things.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should spend a long time learning before actually jumping into anything. I hate these days. I could go on a tangent.
Just go on the tangent.
Okay, I think people think young people should just run for office these days, and I think a lot of young people either have terrible ideas or just really don't have enough experience to survive in politics, especially even in like the state level or the local level. Like you need to give them time to live and learn and educate themselves before they can really be a leader to anyone. Mm-hmm. So I think it's fine that I'm waiting a decade. I mean, I'm probably going to live to 120 if we haven't figured out immortality by then, you know?
It's a lot of faith in humanity trying to find an immortality. I mean, we all know it's gluten.
There's a jellyfish that actually doesn't die by natural causes.
Doesn't like keep growing new body parts.
Yeah, it keeps replenishing the dead cells. So it's technically immortal unless you like squish it. So once we figure that out, once we just take that gene and put it in us, we're good.
Or we just become jellyfish.
I mean, that's where evolution.
We could also do that.
Yeah.
Think about it. We became an ape, humans, jellyfish.
What is it like having a foreign exchange student?
I think it's a lot like what having a brother would be like. I've never had a brother, but it's basically what it has been like. We got past the language barrier pretty quick. Like, I'm learning a little bit of Italian, and he's learning a lot of English, and I've gotten better at understanding him. But basically we just hang out like I would with any other friend. If, like, one of my friends just lived with me all the time, we talk regularly, we, like, swear at each other, and, all the good stuff.
Have, like, a brotherly friendship, type of thing.
I think so. Yeah, it's a deeper connection that I think you could really have with anyone. Like, just living with someone really forces you to be closer. So it's nice. It's something I've never really had before.
Who is your exchange student?
His name is Ilya Fronja. He's from Tuscany, Italy. He goes by the tower, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, every day on his way to school. And we've talked a lot about food, which he thinks is just much better in Italy, which is probably right because it's like fresher ingredients, and the ingredients are better.
Papa John's.
Well, his education is very different because he goes to an art school, and one time they have a day out of the whole year, or maybe it was a week, where the students just teach everything. And they were talking about how they were like playing guitar like on the inside of the school, and outside everybody was just like smoking weed and stuff. So it's like that's how Italy, I guess that's where he's coming from. And he didn't know basically any of the music that I've showed him, and he's liked a lot of it.
Yeah.
He's a very talented guitarist, so we've connected on that. I've gotten a little better at guitar because of him. I'll play the chords of a song and he'll do the picking, and we'll like yell mostly. So it's nice. It's a good time.
You seem to yell a lot.
Yeah, in robotics, I yell on the stage. I yell when I'm singing. I'm a very yelly guy, I would say.
Yeah.
Go more on robotics and like the state's competition and everything, and the feeling that you have with your group during those certain competitions.
Robotics?
Yeah, or even state levels for like drama festivals and everything.
I think with robotics, it's very easy. Actually, yeah, no, I can make a connection here. With robotics, it's very easy to feel as if the drive team is doing all the work.
Yeah.
But if you were there during build season and you contributed in any way, you have a piece of you went into that robot. Like even if it was your first year and you just handed someone a wrench, like this was really a community effort building the robot, and everybody was tossing around ideas, and all of those ideas melded into the very few ideas that became the robot. And it turns out we have the best robot in New England.
Yeah.
So we couldn't have done that if only the drive team thought of all those ideas. If we didn't have the terrible ideas to be reworked until they were fantastic ideas, we wouldn't have as good of a robot as we have now. And that kind of connects, like with drama, it might feel like the only people that matter are the people on stage, and that's not true. Just because we're going to competition, I mean, this year we had 19 people on stage, but
So a lot of people.
the people doing tech are over half of the points that they're calculating at competition, and a show just couldn't be done without tech. And even the people that were in the student-directed show, we're all one part of like a family in drama, and I think we all sort of keep each other floating and keep each other high energy. And I think without everybody there, and like the entire drama club goes, not just the cast and the tech for the show. So without everybody there, we wouldn't do as well as we did. We wouldn't have won regionals, for example. So,
Yeah, and you mentioned Cut, the student-directed play, which you did direct this year. So, like, what was your experience like working with your actors and me especially?
I think it made me a better person, definitely. I've never had the opportunity to just work with people that closely on something, I think, especially people younger than me. I don't think there were any seniors or juniors.
No, Carly was in it. And
right, Carly was a senior, right. But mostly it was underclassmen. A bunch of you had never actually been in a play before.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah. So it was, I felt there was a lot of responsibility there to not only put on a good show, but to really show people what theater is about and make everybody feel included so they'll stay, which I think we, for the most part, succeeded with. But the main worry last year when it was decided that I was going to direct the play was how different I was from Jared. Jared is this very emotional, feely kind of guy. Like, he's always asking people, like, oh, you good? And then he, like, sits down with everybody. He's like, oh, you know, he's...
Jared Curtis we're talking about.
Yeah, Jared Curtis.
Senior last year.
And I'm viewed as someone who's a little more closed off. I know I'm not as open. I tend to focus on my work rather than the people around me. And we thought that would be a problem. But I think the platform that I tried to create with Cut wasn't so much endlessly going over lines, make the play as good as possible. It was more about getting to know each other and really getting to connect on stage. And I think that was what really lent to the success. And I owe that to the cast for really connecting with one another and being allowing themselves to be honest with not only me but everybody else that was in the play. So a lot of it was just sitting in a circle talking.
Yeah.
About like what would this character do? Like what would I do? Like how was your day? Like you know, because with theater and I think with all art, it's really about the relationships that you're forming. It's not about you. It's never about you. And I think we got that message across. And from the few people that I asked, was this better than Jared's show? I got all yeses. So that must mean something.
And like a lot of the people who have never acted before, like me, I think we all showed like a lot of growth.
A ton of improvement, definitely. For example, you were up there just whispering at the beginning, and like and I was like louder. There's every day it was louder, more energy, and I kept going. And on show night, you stole a show. You know, you had
oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
This monologue, you're like, Mrs. Smith, there's a call for you in the office. It was
the crowd loved it,
and that level of commitment was very noticeable, not only from you but from everybody on the stage. And I think that's what made the play good, because the script was just weird. Like
it was very odd.
It was very hard to follow along at first, but I think we improved it and like made it less confusing, but also more confusing.
Like I said, it's not really about the play, it's about the people. So you can take a horrible script and put on an amazing play if you have enough, if you have that commitment.
I think that changed you as a person. Like later on in the future, you'll be like sitting there and you'll like realize like the things that you've done in your past and the people that you've affected.
Yeah, no, I think it made me in a way more tolerant, because I worked with some people that I had never worked with before, a lot of types of people that I wasn't familiar with. And more understanding, because being the robotics captain is definitely a very different experience than directing a play, because art, like I said, is very personal, and you can't do it well without getting personal. Like last year in Song of Extinction, Mr. Osan would cry every time he gave me character advice, because my character, his wife was dying of cancer, and Mr. Osan lost his first wife to cancer. So getting that personal connection is never something I had to do with robotics, but it is something I had to do as a director. So it made me think, I guess, more introspectively, like what can I really do here for these people in front of me? It was like a big self-improvement exercise, and it ended up creating a very good play, which is nice. But yeah, I like to think it made me kinder in a way. Watch my words a little bit. I didn't want to pull an Osan and just yell every day. Mr. Osan is an excellent director. We just have very different styles. But yeah, I think that answers the question.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that too. Like before I was even cast in the play, I kind of felt like there was like a barrier between our friendship. Like we were friends, but we weren't like close friends. But after the play, I feel like we're, kind of best friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's. I'm thinking more like, why can't I be friends with this person than why should I be friends with this person? Like, and I'm expanding that every day. Like last weekend, I went shooting guns with a bunch of like really redneck guys that I never would have seen myself with, and I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed them. Like they're really nice guys, and being able to see past like the personalities that people's environments have created, even if other people view them as like mean or rude or weird or strange or too out there or like attention seeker or anything. Those are all just useless labels, I think. Like if we all just learn to be a little more tolerant and understanding, then we can really benefit from it. And it's made me a lot happier. Just trying to, why can't most people be my friend? Like as long as you're pointing out like when people say bad things or when people say things that are just outright wrong, there's really no downside to it. Like it's okay as long as people are okay with correcting each other. Everybody can be friends. Mrs. Smith, there's a coffee in the office.
When you were a kid.
Oh.
Yeah. What did you want to be then?
A ninja. Yeah.
But who
really good
didn't want to be a ninja, honestly?
Like a nice
I think lots of people didn't want to be ninjas. I did karate for 8 years until I was 16, from 8 to 16. I got to 2nd degree black belt, and I still like fighting a lot. But I learned quickly that ninja was not a viable career choice in today's economy, at least not yet.
I mean, with your future senator skills, you could make that a viable career option. Gonna cut that.
I'll create a government
I'm gonna cut that.
a government jobs program for ninjas. Yes, that's what I'll do, and then I'll make myself the head of
The
the
head
ninja.
Ninjago. That's a deep breath.
The theater thing. Did you ever think you want to go to college for theater?
Yes. If I wasn't going to go into politics, and honestly that would happen if I ever completely lost faith in the system, because, what's the point? Which is, I guess, tangible. If we keep on a really fast downward slope when it comes to government, then I will probably lose faith. But my secondary plan was a double major in theater and, I'm not kidding, culinary arts. I love cooking. I love food.
I can tell you have a muffin with you right now.
Yeah. My dad was a 5-star chef, and I like to say that my mother was a 6-star chef because I always liked her cooking more. But my dad worked at a 5-star restaurant inside a really fancy hotel in Portland for a while before he moved to New York. And cooking has always been a thing in my family, cooking actual food. We never took the quick route. So every Wednesday my friends come over to my house and we cook a meal together, which I think is awesome.
Really?
So
yeah,
that's
cool.
why you're either not there or late to robotics meetings half the time.
Yeah, actually, because I come with Dara and Kevin. It's, yeah, but I would do. The theater is self-explanatory, but I think I have as much of a passion for cooking, so I'd want to, mostly just to take the classes and learn more about it, because I'm really curious. But yeah, theater arts, theater, culinary, cook and actor.
Did you ever consider going into a STEM career as well?
Yes, for about probably 2 years, I was really set on being a nuclear engineer. And that's because politically, nuclear energy was fascinating to me, and still is. I think the solar power, wind power, and hydroelectric really pale in comparison to the power of nuclear energy. And the only thing holding it back is people's fears, people's really irrational fears. If you look back on all of the disasters, which there have been 3, all of them were man-made problems. Fukushima was someone's fault. If we put barriers in place to stop that from happening, even nuclear fission can fuel our energy grid much better than anything else. Pennsylvania's clean energy is 60% nuclear power. And if we move towards fusion, which a fusion reactor in Germany actually created net energy for the first time ever, so we're moving toward it. And if we stop being afraid of it, we can literally create limitless energy out of the very thing that the universe is made up of, just atoms, which are everywhere. So anyway, that's why I wanted to be a nuclear engineer. I was going to double major, actually, in nuclear engineering and political science, or pre-law, but that would have been insane. I can't take that workload. And I decided it made more sense to just go into politics, because my plan was still to go into politics. It was just to work on a Navy sub or something on a nuclear reactor for a few years.
The good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to be a very strong supporter of not just STEM, but specifically nuclear energy, if I ever get to serve in public office. Did you know that the United States once accidentally dropped a nuclear bomb on South Carolina? But it didn't detonate. They just, dropped it from a plane on accident. It just fell out. A nuclear bomb.
Is it still there?
No, they picked it up.
But why didn't it explode?
Because it wasn't, what's the word? It wasn't, ignited. It wasn't set to explode.
Jesus. Think of the amount of
South Carolina would be gone.
Exactly. It would be destroyed.
This was like the 80s, so it wasn't like a fat man from Hiroshima. It was a nuclear bomb, and it would have killed a lot of people.
Before we get over with this, I have to ask you, what is your Harry Potter house? Which house are you in?
Hufflepuff.
You serious?
Yeah.
I'm Gryffindor.
Get out. Leave. Right now. Do it.
Sorry, guys, but I gotta go.
And that's the end of our podcast.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Topher Hascall, for coming in here and speaking with us.
It's no problem. It's no problem at all.
Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed. If not, well, don't hit the like button or anything, but
Remember to hit that subscribble button.
subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Okay. Bye.